Welcome back to the Cash Kicks channel for expert sports analysis. Today we'll be covering the November 25th, 2025 college football best team picks, total picks, and in-depth breakdowns based on previous performances. Stay ahead of the game with our winning insights. And for even more exclusive parlay picks, check out our channel membership. Now come to the video. Bowling Green Falcons versus Massachusetts Minutemen. The countdown is on in Amherst, where Bowling Green arrives at 3-8 overall and 1-6 in the Mid-American Conference, facing a Massachusetts team still searching for its first victory at 0-11 and 0-7 in league play. The stakes are unmistakable. For Bowling Green, this is a chance to salvage momentum and close the conference slate with authority. For UMass, it is an opportunity to flip a frustrating season on its head with one breakthrough performance. And with the matchup predictor leaning dramatically toward Bowling Green at 85.3%, the Falcons walk in as the clear favorite, yet the game's energy suggests anything but a foregone conclusion. Both teams have leaned on young talent, absorbed punishing losses, and shown flashes of competitive fire, creating a late-season collision that feels bigger than the records imply. This one starts with the tale of two offenses still searching for their identity, but anchored by playmakers who have kept their units afloat. Bowling Green leans on Drew Pine, who has thrown for 882 yards on 94 completions with 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. His 62.3% completion rate, paired with a longest strike of 38 yards, gives the Falcons a steady, if unspectacular, rhythm through the air. The rushing attack is led by Austin Dendy, who has been the most consistent force on the ground, piling up 378 yards on 86 carries at 4.4 yards per touch with 3 scores. The receiving core is headlined by Jylan Johnson, whose 35 catches for 446 yards make him the most reliable target on the roster. On defense, linebacker Gideon Lampron stands tall with a team-leading 109 tackles, shaping the heart of Bowling Green's defensive front. Add the pass-rushing presence of M. Bradley's 5 sacks and the ball-hawking ability of M.J. Cannon with 2 interceptions, and the Falcons bring a balanced defensive profile to the field. Massachusetts answers with a more aggressive aerial approach powered by A.J. Hairston, who has thrown for 957 yards on 107 completions and 4 touchdowns. His 49.5% completion rate shows volatility, but his willingness to challenge defenses deep, highlighted by a 77-yard strike, adds explosive potential. On the ground, Brandon Hood carries the load with 359 rushing yards on 93 attempts at 3.9 per carry, finding the end zone twice. The receiving game orbits around Jaquan Gibson, who leads the Minutemen with 53 receptions for 478 yards and a long of 50 yards. Defensively, Tyler Martin provides the backbone with 94 tackles, while M. White's 5 sacks anchor the pressure. D.D. Snyder has added an interception, and the Minutemen combine their defensive elements into a unit that bends often but still flashes the ability to produce timely stops. The statistical edges point slightly toward Bowling Green in efficiency. The Falcons have completed more passes at a higher percentage, found more consistency on the ground with their committee of rushers, particularly Chris McMillion's 342 yards, Cameron Pettaway's 278, and Kadarius Roberts's 215, and produced more total passing yards, posting 1,687 to UMass's 1,758, but with better accuracy and situational stability. UMass counters with more downfield potency and a receiving depth chart that stretches the field. The key dynamic emerges at the intersection of Bowling Green's intermediate passing attack and UMass's secondary, which has struggled against sustained drives. If the Falcons can maintain tempo and protect the football, they can control the flow. But if UMass forces Pine into hurried decisions and capitalizes on turnovers, the matchup shifts. Momentum, though, tells a more dramatic tale. Bowling Green enters having dropped 4 of its last 5. A 19-16 defeat to Akron, a 27-21 loss to Eastern Michigan, a 28-3 setback to Buffalo, and a 27-6 defeat to Central Michigan have sent the Falcons sliding. The lone win in that stretch came in a gritty 24-21 battle with Kent State, a reminder that despite the record, this team can trade punches when it steadies its execution. Yet the pattern is unmistakable. Bowling Green has struggled to finish drives and allowed opponents to dictate pace, particularly late in games. UMass comes in with an even harsher 5-game ledger. A 42-14 loss to Ohio exposed vulnerabilities on both sides of the ball. The 45-3 defeat to Northern Illinois, followed by a 44-40 heartbreaker against Akron, revealed a defense prone to giving up explosive plays, but an offense capable of surging when conditions align. A 38-13 loss to Central Michigan and a 28-21 defeat to Buffalo rounded out a stretch defined by inconsistency, but also short stretches of resilience. The narrow loss to Akron stands out. UMass showed it could score in bunches, move the ball methodically, and challenge vertically. The question is whether that form reappears against a Bowling Green defense that has bent but not completely broken. The quarterback duel shapes the center of this matchup. Drew Pine enters with a more polished efficiency profile. His 62.3% completion rate reflects comfort in the system and confidence in timing routes. His 882 yards and 5 touchdowns do not speak to overwhelming production, but his ability to spread the ball and avoid catastrophic errors keeps drives alive. His rating of 113.4 underscores solid command, and though he has thrown 5 interceptions, his presence remains steady. Pine thrives on structured progression reads and short to intermediate accuracy. When kept clean, he is precise. When pressured, he becomes more tentative, especially on deeper attempts. A.J. Hairston is the risk taker. His 957 yards and 4 touchdowns come with 4 interceptions, but the nature of his game is different. Hairston pushes the envelope. He thrives on broken plays, back shoulder timing, and deep shot aggression. His 49.5% completion rate reflects volatility, but it also captures a quarterback unafraid to seize momentum with a single throw. His statistical ceiling is higher, but so is the risk of turnovers that flip field position. If Hairston settles early, finds rhythm throwing to Gibson, Dowling, and Reese Kelly, and avoids the 1 or 2 errant throws that have haunted him, UMass can alter the offensive landscape. But if Bowling Green compresses passing lanes and forces him underneath, the Minutemen may struggle to string together long drives. The broader tactical landscape leans on execution at the line of scrimmage. Bowling Green's ground game brings more variety and consistency, with multiple backs capable of producing meaningful gains. UMass's run defense has given up chunk plays, and if the Falcons can establish Dendy early and rotate their backfield effectively, they can sustain possession and control tempo. Conversely, UMass relies heavily on Hood to establish balance, and while he has shown toughness, the Minutemen's rushing average of 2.8 yards per carry highlights inefficiencies that could limit early down success. Defensively, Bowling Green's front, spearheaded by Bradley's 5 sacks and Lampron's 109 tackles, enters with an edge in structure and pursuit angles. UMass counters with White's identical 5-sack tally and Martin's 94 tackle production, forming a defensive nucleus capable of disrupting Pine's rhythm if the Minutemen generate pressure. Special teams consistency leans slightly toward Bowling Green, which has generally played cleaner in field position exchanges. Turnover margin may prove decisive. Both quarterbacks have thrown multiple interceptions this year, and in a matchup where drives can be fleeting, one defensive swing could alter the complexion of the game. Coaching tendencies suggest Bowling Green will seek balance early, probe UMass's secondary, and lean on multi-back rotation to soften the defense. UMass will likely open aggressive, using Hairston's deep ball ability to test Bowling Green vertically and force safeties into difficult decisions. Situationally, The Falcons thrive in manageable third-down scenarios, while UMass often leans on explosive, momentum-shifting plays rather than steady drives. The key X factors center on matchups such as Gibson testing Bowling Green's secondary, Johnson maintaining possession with efficient short-area receptions, and Lampron's steady leadership anchoring and elevating the Falcons' front seven throughout the game. And now, the call. Bowling Green enters as the steadier team, the more efficient operation, and the one with a clearer, more complete statistical backbone across all phases. UMass brings volatility and undeniable flashes of electricity, but sustaining momentum for more than a quarter or two has remained a season-long hurdle they haven't fully solved. With the matchup predictor leaning heavily toward Bowling Green, and with the Falcons holding superior balance at quarterback, running back, and linebacker, the scales ultimately tilt in their direction. Yet UMass will not go quietly. Their competitiveness, burst plays, and willingness to push tempo ensure this won't be a passive surrender. Expect a spirited early surge from the home side, complete with a couple of deep connections to Gibson, and a momentum-swinging defensive stand or two that ignites the crowd. But stretched across 4 full quarters, Bowling Green's reliability on the ground, greater efficiency under center, and far more consistent tackling profile should gradually take control. Their ability to sustain drives, avoid self-inflicted mistakes, and stay structurally sound on defense gives them the steadier blueprint to close out the matchup. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is Bowling Green winner. The Falcons win through balance and discipline, while UMass shows fight, but falls just short of the breakthrough it has been searching for all season. My second pick for this match is total over 43.5. Western Michigan Broncos versus Eastern Michigan Eagles. Western Michigan enters Rynearson Stadium at 7-4 overall and 6-1 in the Mid-American Conference, sitting firmly atop the league standings with a chance to reinforce its position as the conference's most complete outfit. Eastern Michigan stands at 4-7 and 3-4 in conference play, battling through a season filled with narrow heartbreaks, late-game volatility, and the lingering belief that one complete performance can flip the script. The matchup predictor leans heavily toward Western Michigan at 66.0%, a numerical nod toward the Broncos' balance, discipline, and finishing power. But Eastern Michigan has lived in the land of unpredictability all year, and this rivalry has produced plenty of moments that shrugged off probability and rewrote expectations. Tonight's stakes cut cleanly. Western Michigan fights to cement its conference supremacy and sharpen its profile heading toward the postseason, while Eastern Michigan takes the field with a chance to disrupt the league hierarchy, protect its home turf, and define its season with a late surge. The emotions will be thick, the margins will be thin, and the matchup, built on contrast, momentum, and a collision of quarterback styles, sets the stage for a compelling MAC showdown. Western Michigan's statistical profile is built around efficiency, rhythm, and a commitment to balanced offense. Quarterback Brock Lowry headlines the attack with 1,472 passing yards on 139 completions from 216 attempts, operating at a 64.4% clip with 7 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions. His steady command opens lanes for a run game anchored by Lowry himself, who leads the Broncos with 783 rushing yards on 156 carries and a team-high 12 rushing scores. Jalen Buckley adds 666 yards at 4.8 yards per carry, giving Western Michigan the volume and durability to control the pace. In the passing game, Talik Williams leads with 478 yards on 35 receptions, stretching defenses with a 13.7-yard average and a long strike of 71 yards. Balin Brooks and Avion Chanot round out a receiving unit that thrives on timing and spatial discipline. Defensively, the Broncos rely on linebacker James Camden, who leads with 66 tackles, and edge pressure from N. Tucker, who has produced 11 sacks, an elite number that shapes passing pockets and disrupts offensive rhythm. The secondary is anchored by Tate Halleck's 2 interceptions, and the overall unit has demonstrated a knack for field position control, limiting big plays while forcing opponents into uncomfortable sequences. Eastern Michigan counters with a more explosive statistical identity, driven by quarterback Noah Kim and running back Dante McMillan. Kim has thrown for 2,490 yards on 223 completions from 361 attempts at 61.8%, piling up 16 touchdowns but also 8 interceptions. His willingness to take risks fuels both the Eagles' best stretches and their most difficult collapses. McMillan is the workhorse, powering to 903 rushing yards on 168 carries with 3 touchdowns, running with consistent pad level and surprising burst through second-level gaps. In the receiving corps, Nick Devereaux stands at 503 yards with 6 touchdowns, while tight end Josh Long adds 336 yards at nearly 10 yards per catch, giving the Eagles a dynamic blend of reliability and vertical leverage. Defensively, Eastern Michigan leans heavily on Bryce Llewellyn's 93 tackles, a workload that reflects both instinct and necessity as he cleans up traffic at all 3 levels. Bias has delivered 3 sacks, while Llewellyn also shares the team lead with 2 interceptions, giving the Eagles playmakers in key situational moments. Their defensive posture bends, sometimes dramatically, but responds with timely stops and red zone grit that has kept them alive in multiple tight games. The decisive matchup dynamic. Western Michigan's balanced, efficiency-first offense against Eastern Michigan's aggressive, high-variance passing game. It's a contrast between method and ambition, between calculated tempo and explosive intent, and the team that wins this battle of identities will likely dictate the night. Momentum tells an intriguing story. Western Michigan enters on a defining surge. The Broncos are coming off a 35-19 win over Northern Illinois, a 17-13 road victory over Ohio, a 24-21 win against Central Michigan, and a 42-20 triumph over Ball State. The lone stumble in this recent window came in a 27-26 loss to Miami, OH, a 1-point heartbreaker that did little to dent their confidence or rhythm. This stretch shows a team playing with synchronization on both sides of the ball, preserving leads, finishing drives, and controlling third-quarter tempo. Their margins, while not always comfortable, reveal a team capable of adapting mid-game and tightening its execution through the final whistle. Eastern Michigan's last 5 games reveal a different trajectory. The Eagles beat Ball State 24-9, then edged Bowling Green 27-21. But the momentum stalled with a 28-21 loss to Ohio, followed by a 44-30 defeat at Miami, OH. Eastern Michigan responded with a resilient 16-10 win over Northern Illinois, proving that their defensive grit can still swing games even when the offense isn't fully in sync. The Eagles' recent form is defined by volatility, moments of sharp precision offset by stretches of inconsistency. They've shown they can out-execute opponents for long stretches, but they've also shown susceptibility to momentum swings and turnover-driven collapses. The quarterback matchup is the heart of this contest. Western Michigan's Brock Lowry plays with poise and calculation, completing 64.4% of his throws with a 130.4 rating. He avoids negative plays, navigates pressure without panic, and amplifies the Broncos' rhythm-based approach. His willingness to run, 783 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns, forces defenses into hesitation, widening throwing lanes and complicating edge assignments. Lowry's downfield shots aren't frequent, but when he picks his moment, he strikes decisively, as evidenced by a 71-yard-long completion. Eastern Michigan's Noah Kim takes the opposite path. His 2,490 yards dwarf Lowry's total, and his 16 touchdown passes showcase arm talent and vertical ambition. But the 8 interceptions hint at risk, aggressive windows, extended plays, and the tightrope walk between brilliance and breakdown. Kim's 64-yard-long pass shows his deep ball confidence, while his 123.2 rating reflects production weighted by both yardage and high-pressure decision-making. When Kim is in rhythm, he elevates the entire offense. When he presses, the turnovers arrive, and the Eagles absorb the consequences. The duel between Lowry's consistency and Kim's volatility will define the game's emotional cadence. The tactical breakdown begins at the line of scrimmage. Western Michigan's run game is the engine of its identity, and its ability to produce 1,992 team rushing yards at 4.2 yards per carry demonstrates both patience and physical control. Eastern Michigan's defensive front must prevent early down gashes to force the Broncos into obvious passing situations. On the other side, the Eagles' run game, 1,576 yards at 4.3 per carry, must find enough traction to keep Kim out of predictable passing downs, where Western Michigan's pass rush, led by Tucker's 11 sacks, can attack protection mismatches. Turnovers loom large. Western Michigan has been careful with the football, anchored by Lowry's minimal interception total. Eastern Michigan, meanwhile, plays closer to the edge, and their season's arc has often been shaped by the turnovers Kim either avoids or creates. Special teams reliability favors Western Michigan's steady approach, while Eastern Michigan's big play potential always leaves room for momentum-swinging returns or coverage breakdowns. Coaching tendencies point toward Western Michigan's patience, methodical drives, controlled pacing, and a readiness to lean on its rushing production. Eastern Michigan's staff embraces flexibility, attacking mismatches through formations, tempo shifts, and sudden vertical shots. Situational football may hinge on third and medium scenarios, where Lowry's decision-making and Kim's aggressiveness take turns determining field position and drive longevity. X factors include Talik Williams' ability to stretch the Eagles' secondary and Nick Devereaux's capacity to break open the Broncos' defensive structure. On defense, Tucker's pass rush for Western Michigan and Llewellyn's tackling volume for Eastern Michigan will shape the game's physical tone. Rynearson Stadium's environment adds emotional fuel for the home side, and the early sequences will reveal whether Eastern Michigan can harness the energy into discipline or fall into rushed execution that favors the Broncos. The final prediction ultimately hinges on balance, consistency, and each team's ability to manage chaos. Western Michigan offers the steadier formula: efficient quarterback play, a reliable and productive ground attack, and a defense capable of turning pressure into disruptive stops without giving up explosive gains. Eastern Michigan counters with volatility, raw upside, and a quarterback who can swing momentum in a single drive. Yet across 4 quarters, the Broncos' stability and dependable structure remain the more trustworthy bet. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is Eastern Michigan winner. The Broncos' rushing depth, Lowry's command, and a defense anchored by Tucker's pressure and Camden's tackling define the night. Eastern Michigan delivers flashes of brilliance. Kim will hit big throws, McMillan will churn out chains, and Devereaux will land his moments. But the Broncos' balance, discipline, and situational execution carry them to a confident, hard-earned win. My second pick for this match is total over 43.5.